What's up, guys? It has been quite a while. All right. I don't remember the last time I actually recorded a video. It has been ages, I think multiple months. Been traveling and busy with tons of projects, but that does not mean that I have not actually been playing a ton of Magic again. I'm not sure what lit a fire underneath me. I think it might have had something to do with the demise of my good friend's Auto Battler Storybook Brawl a few months ago and me kind of dabbling around in a few games and finally landing back on Magic again. I've actually been playing probably an average of maybe 8 to 10 games behind the scenes almost daily, and working on my usual win streaks and so on. And I've actually accumulated a pretty large subset of games that are worth recording. It looks like I've got about maybe 9 or 10 games at this point that I need to record videos for. So the backlog got big enough that I started to get a little bit nervous about something happening with an update to the UI or something, which often results in the games being purged away. So without further ado, I am going to be recording a bunch of different games here, starting with a game that I played on the 10th of August, actually. So we're talking more than a month ago, a month and a half ago, roughly. And I was actually went back and revisited an old favorite of mine and quite a few people who have been watching this channel for a while, good old Skithiryx the Blight Dragon. And objectively, I'd say that old Skithiryx here has been a little bit outmoded by the acceleration in the format. He may have been pretty cool 7, 8, 9 years ago as a pretty good black finisher, but there's so many better black commanders. And in terms of black commanders, you just can't do better than Tevesh, obviously the cornerstone and the linchpin of the Bullsat deck. And Skithiryx is just totally outmoded. If you're going to be paying 5 mana, you'd much rather have a Planeswalker that is a card drawing engine and a commander stealing engine and a blocking engine and everything else you might need in a 5 mana thing in the command zone. Skithiryx, a little slow, a little gimmicky, kind of fun, definitely more casual. I would say this is probably a B tier deck. It's below A tier and below S tier. But that didn't mean that I didn't want to give it a try. And I had a fan of the channel reach out and ask me about this deck and whether or not I had done any updates to it. And so I actually hadn't done updates to it in years. So I decided to go back and mess around with it a little bit, removed I think about 6 or 7 cards, and brought in some more modern tools. So looking at it right here, I've got Feed the Swarm. This is a new card in here. Bowmasters, kind of running roughshod over lots of formats and excellent in Commander as well to deal with countless things that draw lots of cards early in the game when you can flash out Bowmasters and just blow out your opponent's board. Sheoldred's Edict, definitely the strongest edict ever printed. Dauthi Voidwalker, which a lot of people have raved about. I've never really been able to find room for it in a deck, a regular multicolor control deck. But in this deck, where you're playing with mono black cards, Dauthi Voidwalker, pretty damn good. And I think definitely worth running. Let's see, Black Market Connections, another incredibly powerful black card printed in the last couple of years. Opposition Agent was an easy add. Looking at the rest here, I added Erebos in here just because he's pretty insane card advantage engine. Of course, Karn the Great Creator, which shores up a lot of vulnerabilities in mono black, actually. This 4 mana commander is just kind of slots into just about any strategy. And if you're playing any type of competitive commander, either against your friends or at a random shop or online, you probably want to be running Karn in your deck. There isn't really any reason not to use it. At 4 mana, it is such a backbreaking effect against not only the best decks, but the best draws summoned by even suboptimal decks, where you can just ramp out Karn with a ritual or something and you just kill all of their acceleration and often just kill them on the spot. Just incredibly powerful, oppressive commander and a natural fit for a mono black deck. Of course, the One Ring, another card that sort of just auto goes in every deck, pretty much regardless of theme or function, as is so common for commander these days, unfortunately. Oh yeah, another card that certainly makes this deck better is Jeweled Lotus. Jesus, I mean, obviously it enables Tevesh that really quickly, and of course it enables Skithiryx as well, so you can just get Skithiryx out and running on turn 1 or turn 2 with it. Pretty disgusting. Tevesh that obviously should be in any deck pretty much with black or access to black. It is so incredibly powerful, even when it's not in the command zone. It's just insanely strong. And I added Invoke Despair, very powerful but prohibitively high casting cost. But in this format, in mono black, pretty easy to cast. I've got the usual guys. Ugin the Ineffable came in here too. He's just kind of a natural fit for a mono black deck with tons of mana production. Karn Liberated, same category. I added Archon of Cruelty as well. It's not a reanimator deck, but this creature is just so insanely powerful that if you are able to play it on 8 mana, You don't have to cheat it into play. You can just cast it the old-fashioned way pretty quickly off Lake of the Dead or something. You can often just win the game on the spot, and certainly after a couple of different attacks. Then I've got a couple of X spells, Mind Twist, Consume Spirit, Diabolic Revelation. Those are the same. So that is the deck, and I would not have probably waded into Online Commander with it when I had a win streak going, but I actually had lost a game only a day before this and had a relatively long win streak snapped. So I figured, what the hell, let's go for the sake of variety, have a little fun, and play the mono black deck. And in relatively short order, I had the following game, which I will record for you guys now. All right, so I'm up against Mr. Mad Magus here. And he's got a commander I haven't really faced very much, Toski, Bearer of Secrets, but I imagine it could be pretty good. I do have an opening hand with Contagion, which should just totally annihilate any type of Toski deck. And unfortunately, I only have one swamp. If I had one more swamp, like if Karn Liberated were Black Mana Source, this hand is such a quick snap keep where I would just completely dominate his board. But unfortunately, I have to throw this hand back, and I get a much less playable hand with only a single land. I got to throw that back too. And all right, not too bad. Got Invoke Despair, but I can't really play with that. I have Duress, probably not insanely powerful against what he's playing, but and I've got Chrome Mox. It's kind of like one of these hands where I have to decide what direction I want to go. Do I want to go with just go all in on some sort of fast play plan, or do I want to go and play the slow and meticulous pick them apart plan? I decided to go with the fast all in plan by nature of having Grim Tutor. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go for pure black mana here and ditch, I think, Mana Vault and Duress. I could go land, Mana Vault, and so on, but the problem is that this deck is just going to be casting a 4/4 flyer, and if he has any way to deal with that at all, like any way that green has, including Kenrith's Transformation, or if he's got Beast Within, a number of other different cards that can kill flyers, and I go all in on the dragon, I could definitely lose the game. So regretfully, I'm going to throw away the... Actually, no, I guess let's see if I bring that back. No, okay. Yeah, so I did throw away the Mana Vault. I decided to keep the Duress, and here we go. This is like definitely all in play right here. So I'm going to sack that and play Arcane Signet. The fact that I'm going first here is a really, really big deal. So I figure I'm just going to be able to, barring him having some artifact kill really, really early in the game, I should be able to just go straight into Necropotence. He's got a Llanowar Elf, which is a bit frustrating. All right, I got Tevish Zat, punished for throwing away the Mana Vault, obviously. But I'm going to Grim Tutor. You can see the deck right here. And, of course, going to go get Necropotence. And I figure, all right, all I have to do is fade Reclamation Sage, Naturalize, Nature's Claim. Come on. Haywire Might. God, this thing's so good. Such a powerful creature. I run it in Minsc and Boo, of course, and would certainly run it in Edric or something as well. Extremely powerful, and it's an exile effect, too, so it allows you to... remove, just disenchants. It allows you to exile the One Ring. He plays a hideaway land, and for a second here, he bluffs an attack with the Llanowar Elf just to give me hope that he might let me live through the turn with triple black. Unfortunately, it does not happen, and now I am in a bad position if I don't draw any black mana quickly here. Ugh, Thoughtseize. Okay, well, at least I can see what I'm up against. Chatterstorm, Green Sun Zenith, and Sixth Sense. So this is Curiosity. Chatterstorm just makes some squirrel tokens, which I guess is pretty cool. Green Sun Zenith, probably the least powerful card in his hand right now, but if this gets Reclamation Sage and I get dropped down to just a Signet, I'm 100% going to lose the game. So with that in mind, I have to just take the Zenith and just hope to draw some land here in a bit. Let's see what happens. All right, Essence Warden. It's a bit strange. So he plays Sixth Sense on the Warden. Instead of casting on the elf and attacking, and then he just chatters out some squirrels also. So you can see he's getting perfectly set up here. Next turn he's going to be able to play Toski, and Toski says whenever creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So he could play Toski off these 4 lands and hit me and draw 5 cards. If I don't draw a Necro right now, I'm just going to lose. I mean, if I don't draw a Swamp, I'm just going to lose. And I draw the Mana Vault, which is interesting after the reshuffle. So this at least gives me some kind of hope. But man, this next turn is going to suck. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's crazy. He's got the bridge. And then he goes straight to his combat step. I'm extremely baffled by this. But I figure maybe he's got Maybe he just doesn't like drawing 5? I don't know. So post-combat, he plays a Gilded Goose and gets a food token. Okay. And sacks a food token. And he did this instead of drawing 5 cards. Like, I just don't really even know what to say, but happy to take it. All right, come on, deck. The One Ring. Boy. Well, I think about this for a bit, and I realize that the only way I have any chance of winning this game, really, is immediately drawing into some kind of tutor that allows me to deluge the board away. I can't cast Necro, but if I do draw one more black mana source off the One Ring, I will be able to cast Necro that way. Tevish that, pretty tempting to cast. Also tempting to just cast the Dragon. But I just worry that if I do any of those things, he might just decide that casting his commander is good. And, you know, you don't want to poke the bear. So I'm just going to draw and hope to draw some black mana here. Liliana of the Dark Realms. Okay. That's not very good. Elvish Spirit Guide. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, he could have drawn 10 extra cards at this point and obliterated all my mana. Instead, he's just content to attack me for 4 and draw 1. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the One Ring. He didn't even draw off this. That's kind of cool. All right, so off the One Ring, before I, during draw step, and I'm doing this just in case I need to Vampiric Tutor for something, look what I get. The Bowmaster. Badass. All right, so I got my triple black, and now I have a plan, actually, depending on what happens here. If he gets a little spicy with his Toski, some very, very cool things could happen. He would draw a lot of cards, but boy, would it be some revenge. All right, he casts Kenrith's Transformation on his squirrel. Like, what a bizarre play. Remember what I said before about how I couldn't just run out the dragon? So many people play this card, and I could just die on the spot. So he's about to draw a card. Well, in that case, let's just flash out these Bowmasters. Unfortunately, I can't ping off the squirrel in advance of the target spawning because I need the extra ping. I need the extra draw. But that allows me to gun down multiple creatures here, including his elf. And now, barring him making a food token, he can't even actually cast Toski. And I have a 2/2 to block with. So happy to just block one of these guys, take 3 or 4 damage, no big deal. All right, during upkeep, I get 3 cards now. One Ring has drawn 6 cards for 3 life. I'd say that's a pretty good deal. Don't need to pay that. All right, got a swamp. Well, Necro's out of the question now. It's just a matter of what makes the most sense. And I realized that I can just circumvent the whole Toski problem completely by just beating him to death with Skithiryx. So, without further ado, give Skithiryx haste, send him in. And I forget that the good old Gilded Goose actually has flying. Not that it matters a ton. I'm down to 20, so it's a little bit nervous, but not too bad. And I guess another Scurry Oak. Weird. All right, well, I guess it has good synergy with his doubling season and stuff, but good luck actually making it bigger. All right, I'm just going to double block this thing. I feel like the Bowmaster is probably not really helping, and I just kind of want to take creatures and damage off the table, since I don't imagine that the army tokens are really going to get any bigger. All right, the way is clear. All right, I'm keeping the ring at 3 currently because I don't feel like taking huge risks with my life total. And I think I can just play Tevish and play a couple of counters here. A couple of thralls. And finally, on this turn of the game, he decides it's time to cast Toski, Bearer of Secrets. You may have wanted to cast that a little bit earlier, sir. But I'm just going to chump 1. I take 1 point of damage, and he draws. But he's all but tapped out. All right, he has 2 cards in hand, and I have exactly enough mana for this, and I'm at 10. So first things first, I'm going to hem those 2 cards away. 3 visits and Unnatural Restoration. No big deal. And the way is clear, and the dragon can do what the dragon does. 9/9 Infect. And over it comes for the victory. All right, so that continued quite a win streak, actually. I'm going to jump over to that from here. So I'm going to play good old Mad Magus. This is, here we go, 8-10. You can see I had a couple of losses right in here. I kind of lost a very long win streak. Well, I guess it wasn't that terribly long. I lost to Campanella, lost to Great Liar, and then lost to this Owen guy in quick succession. So at that point, I was pretty tilted and didn't really care about my streaks anymore. And I could kind of play whatever I wanted to. So I played against Mad Magus somewhere in here. Where is he? 10. Huh. That's weird. Where don't I not see the game? Oh, there he is right there. Yeah. So I played Mad Magus right in there, and I wasn't on a particularly long win streak, and then lost some of these games playing casually. I think these are games lost with mono black. And eventually I decided, you know what, it kind of feels shitty losing games with a like B or C tier deck. I'm going to switch back to playing something good. And so we began a very, very, very long win streak, which I'll talk about in subsequent videos. And you guys have that to look forward to. More games coming. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.